In today's lesson, I want you to be completing an extended task. This is a GCSE style task. First of all, I'm going to show you the task, and if you're struggling, then obviously you can let me know. This is the task you're going to be completing. There are two parts to it, and I want you to do this on Trinket. First of all, task number 1, simulating a dice. I want you to make me a function and procedure which allows the user to roll a dice. This can either have 4, 6 or 12 sides. Read through the code and try and design this code. Make sure that your code has comments, you're using functions and procedures, but more importantly, make sure you can use this code at a later date. So you want to be using functions and procedures which return values. Task 2. You should be now using the functions that you have made from task 1 to answer these questions. Have a read through this and then I'll give you a bit more explanation. Now for this, remember, as I've already said, you should be using the code that you've made from task 1. You shouldn't have to change that really, you should just be able to call it. I'm also looking for efficient code. You shouldn't have 3 different functions, one for a dice roll for 4, one for 6, one for 12. You should be able to send a value of how many sides there are on that dice to that function so it can use it. Try and write it in as few lines as code as possible to make this efficient. You need to put your answer into Trinket. Look for the extended task. Then for homework, you need to complete the following task. You work for a company who wants users to create an email and password. You need to validate the user's email on the following requirements. Number 1, it must have an @. Number 2, it must include 1 dot. And number 3, it must not contain spaces. For number 1, remember it must not be the first or last letter, the @. Comment in the code for task 1 to explain what is happening, and you'll be able to see the Trinket that I've added so far. Number 2, finish off the validation for parts 2 and parts 3. Question number 3, the company wants to validate a user's password. In the same way that I've done for task 1, please give a set of requirements. You can put that in the comments in your code. And then task number 4, add that to your code.